Hi everyone, Alan from AH Electrical, electrical contractor based down in Cornwall, up here with Art Smart, building a smart home rack. Here we have a 22U rack with all the components needed for the smart home. Starting off, here we have the Control4 Core 3 processor. This is the brains of the rack itself. This allows everything to be programmed, be used through the Control4 Foresight app, as well as any of the remote controls or even in-wall tablets if needs be. Here we have the Art Smart rack strip, important piece of equipment. This has got all the contact details for Art Smart, emails, contact phone numbers, site IDs and asset IDs. So if there's any problems, these can be mentioned to Art Smart. They can pull up all the data, all the information, and they know exactly what's in that rack and what components are there, so they can troubleshoot if there's any other any problems. Here we have your Rackness network switch. This is in place to manage the network throughout the whole property. From here, we can run additional Wi-Fi access points, hardwired. That way you can get the best internet throughout the property. You know, everything's all on Wi-Fi now, so biggest thing we need is a decent Wi-Fi system. This also has an additional temperature probe inside, so if there's any problems and the rack is starting to overheat, Art Smart will be notified remotely. We have the mesh vents here to allow for ventilation within the rack, but also creating the chimney effect where it's drawing air in from the bottom and venting up through the mesh vents and through the vents on top of the rack itself. Next, we've got the Aiton Eco PDU. This is a power distribution unit which is used to supply all of the components within the rack. This can be operated remotely through Art Smart themselves, or the client can individually isolate each output within the rack itself. So if there's ever a problem, one thing needs to be rebooted, then it can be done from here or it can be done remotely. Following on, we've got the AV Pro Video Matrix. This will distribute video signals from any of the sources which will be placed on the source shelves here. So things like your Sky, Roku's, Apple TVs, draws their signal, distributes it throughout the property seamlessly. The audio can be pulled from that as well and distributed through any surround sound systems if they're installed. Coming down the rack, we've got the Triad Audio Matrix. This draws any of the audio from any of the sources and distributes it throughout the system itself through surround sound, ceiling speakers, exterior speakers. Here we have the Triad sub amp. On this project, we've got an on-wall sub. So obviously this is allowing us to set up all the gains and the audio within the sub itself, so we can get the best quality sound. Getting near the bottom, we've got the Anthem AVR. This is used by Art Smart on pretty much all of their projects. It's used to sync the audio signal and the video signals together, so you can play music or the videos through your surround sound seamlessly. Finally, at the bottom, we've got an APC UPS. This is installed pretty much on every rack to protect all the components within inside, that if there's ever a power failure, that they've still got power there to keep them operational. So that's a quick walkthrough on the rack. Great thing about this system, it can be expanded later on if the client wants to. We can add things like CCTV, in-wall tablets, and lighting controls if the client requires. But you know, we've got that scope there. If he ever does want that, then that can be added in easily. If you want to see more updates on this project, then follow us on the socials. Look for AH Elec, and I will see you on the next one.